2022 MSB Season Preview Show. I'm here alongside former league all-star Aharon Henk Dweck. Aharon has defected for what's better for him, I guess. But we have Aharon here right now to help us break down the teams. I figured who else but have a former champion and former all-star and Aharon Dweck to come sit alongside me that's not a part of the league, that sees the league from the outside looking in. Aharon, welcome.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Sam.
From what I was told, Aharon did his homework. And quickly, just to give you an overview, we're going to go through each team, 7 minutes per team. It's going to be 7 and 7. 7 teams, 7 minutes per team. And then after we run through the teams and their defensive alignment and their lineups, we're both going to hand out a grade, some little analysis, and then once we expire, we'll go on to the next team. Without further ado, do you have anything to add in before we begin?
I'm ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Let's do this.
Need you to speak up because the camera needs to hear your voice. There you go. We're going to start off with the Maskil Eldal Society. That team is captained by Dan Braun, and the timer begins now. So we're going to quickly look at the defense and stop me if you have anything to say about what we're talking about. At the catcher position, we have, it looks like it's going to be split between Benji Eskenazi, who actually caught last year for Dan Braun's Mamba mentality. He did a pretty nice job. And then we have Jack Ruben Beebe, who actually can go all over the place. You could put him in the outfield. You could put him at short center. We know he likes to catch when he has that bionic knee brace.
I love Jack behind the plate. That is his A position.
Well, you know what? I don't disagree with you because if you look at Jack Beebe, understand that he himself personally has the ability to move around, but even more so, Benji Eskenazi can play the left side of the infield if they need him. So that might be an option for them, and I see them doing that, small here and there. That's at the catcher position. On the mound, we have Dan Braun. So now, Dan's career, if you look at the trajectory, it's all over the place. He started out on old school.
It's trending down.
I'm saying, but it started off on the highest point, right? Then, on old school, had a great team behind him, Stephen Gindy with him, and he did his job. And then last year, pitching-wise, he wasn't that bad. His team actually went
throw strikes.
He went to the semifinals.
Yes.
He couldn't hit a lick last year. And if you look at why, in the night league the year before, he did separate his shoulder, and I do believe it impacted him in a way, and I think he has to get over it mentally, but this team's going to need his bat in a big way as we go through this team a little further.
It's possible, but I don't think you can expect much from his bat. I mean, he's going to give all he's got on the mound, and it's always tough for a pitcher giving it 14 innings.
He did it
Sunday. He did it, but it wasn't.
He did it in year one.
It wasn't with high velocity. He got a lot of loop hits. Even Stephen Gindy would tell you the same thing.
No, okay, fine. I actually liked his bat a lot. Year one, last year,
It
regressed, and if it weren't for the MVP, unbelievable season by Jack Hararia, that team wouldn't have gone places. But they almost won. They almost beat the championship team, you guys, in the semifinals.
That's true.
And it was a Yoni Sarfati error at third base away of going to the semifinals, if you remember.
Yeah, and then Hank came along. So
then Hank decided to remember that he knows how to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Then let's move on to first base. This is a key player for their team, Akiva Madnik. He was very coveted in the draft. He's a lefty. As we saw last year, he also can play a little outfield. So he's a little more versatile than them just throwing him at first base, but he's the consummate professional. We all know what we're getting from Akiva. He comes to the field ready to play better than anybody. He's one of those type of guys. And there's really nothing bad to say about Akiva. He's just a really good ball player, great guy as well.
Yeah, Akiva has great hands. I don't love him in the outfield. I like him more in the infield.
Well, he's built
He's a lefty.
right?
He's a lefty, and I love the way he plays third base.
Right. If it weren't for that throw, he would be probably the best third baseman in the league.
Exactly. First base, I mean, he can scoop with
It's 1 and 1A when you have Mark Richter defensively at first and Madnik at first base. Madnik does have that ability.
Right. But they're going to need him to be big at the plate. I mean, we're not talking about offense right now.
I agree.
He's an X factor. They're going to need him to be a big three hitter in this lineup.
Yeah, and I think he will
they're very
because
soft.
This is his comfort zone. This team, if you look at the guys on his team, you have that Benji with Beebe, you have Dan Braun, Madnik, and now coming up, another one of Dan Braun guys, Matty Kafka. Matty Kafka is playing second base, slap hitter, one of those pesky, annoying type hitters.
Right.
You know, foul balls off, and he'll get a big hit. You know, come up with a big spot. Not really a dynamic type of player, but a guy that you like to have
Good
in
job
your
done.
team. Scrappy type of guy. Now coming up at shortstop for them is probably their biggest question mark. I mean, I've seen him handle the position. This is Michael Mann. This is Elliot Mann's younger brother. He actually subbed last year for that disastrous team. What was it? The last El Chapo team for Michael Mann. He also subbed for Lethal Weapon.
How do you look at it?
He's a really good glove. I don't know over the course of the season that he's going to be able to be the guy at short. I would love to be proven that he can be, because the league would love to have another good defensive shortstop. But from what I remember, he doesn't really scare you at the plate offensively. That's something where he has to work on. And then coming up after that, we have Nissan Gordon. Gordon, one of those guys, also streaky type player, wears his backwards funky cap, going to play a pretty good third base, going to make sometimes an untimely error here and there, but overall solid ball player. He's not going to hurt you. He's more of a plus than a minus. But again, he's not lighting the world on fire, Nissan Gordon. Coming up after that, we have Schneur Silverstein. Schneur is, as we know, Schneur Silverstein.
We love Schneur.
We love Schneur. Schneur brings the fire, brings the passion.
He's more of a bat than he is a glove, though.
Yeah, he is, but you know what? Last year we put him at third base, and that wasn't a spot for him. He belongs at short center field, and that's actually where I think he'll actually do much better this year, being in more of a comfort zone. But listen, he brings a lot, definitely a character, one of the characters in the league.
That rounds out their infield, and it looks dreadful.
Right, their infield is not special, definitely not special.
That's putting it kind of.
And then let's look at the outfield real quick. We have a young rookie who I hear a lot of good things about, Isaac Ayala. I heard the kid could really track down balls in the outfield.
Was he supposed to be in the league last year?
No, that was his brother.
That was his brother.
We know his other brother. We know Richie.
They're four brothers.
We know Richie.
Wow.
We know Jacob. We know
Outfielders.
they're all good ball players. We know that.
Right.
But this kid actually cares. I actually coached him. A lot of fire, a lot of passion. Actually, a good ball player. Then we have Elliot Mann. Elliot Mann in center field.
Love Elliot.
Solid, just all around good ball
Got the
player.
job done.
They're going to need him to step it up offensively, I'll tell you that. And then we have David Feldman, Butters as they call him. Again, not lighting the world on fire.
He's a slap hitter.
The way this team is going to succeed is, like you said before, they're going to need a really strong year from Madnick. They're going to need Dan Braun to bounce back offensively. And they're going to need one of these guys, the Ayala, to step it up. Let's quickly round it out as their 7 minutes is about to expire. We have Elliot Mann leading off, Schneur Silverstein batting second, Benji Eskenazi batting third, BB batting fourth, Braun batting fifth, Gordon 6, Madnick 7, Kafka 8, Feldman 9, Ayala 10, and then they're going to slot in Minopla, who we didn't mention, who has pop, and Michael Mann.
And this is the lineup that they gave you.
This is the lineup that they submitted to me. Like you said, I'm not that impressed.
Why is Madnick in the middle of this lineup?
I think that's going to move. I'm not that impressed with this team. At first glance, I was looking at it, I was going to give them in the B- range. I think I'm going to give my grade on this team a C+. A C+, which means they're going to be on the wild card bubble. What is your grade for this team?
Okay, I have a C- for this team. I think they are the worst team in the league.
Okay.
Okay, they have very soft middle of the lineup. Very soft. Their lineup is a little lengthy. You know, they have a good 8-hitter. You can put Feldman batting 8th. It's a lengthy lineup, but it's very soft in the middle.
Right, they're gonna need
any great team needs great hitters.
They're going to need
They need a good
They're
2,
going to
3,
need
4
boppers.
hitters.
I agree.
And unless you have Madnick and Mann really stepping up and batting 550.
Right, they're going to need Men, they're going to need Madnick, and
they even need Dan.
one of these other guys. Like I'm telling you, it has to be an Ayala type or
Yeah, but I don't know if you're going to get a real break.
They're going to need Jack
player.
Beebe to have a big year also. Anyway, that rounds out that team. We're going to get to at the end.
He's got to stop picking his friends. He's just got to.
It's just part of the game plan. So we'll get back to the end of it. When we go through each team, we're going to say which 2 teams we don't think make the playoffs. So keep in mind.
Okay.
There is team number 1. Now we're moving on to team number 2. The team name is called Safe, representing the Safe organization. Beautiful organization. This team is very interesting. We just started the clock right about now. The biggest question mark on this team, obviously, and it goes without saying, is Joe Ciferati on the mound. I mean, I've seen him throw a few innings in Tahina. He does throw heat, but can he consistently throw strikes? I mean, I think he's enough of an athlete to figure it out. I'm not that worried about Joe S, but you must actually pose it as a question mark. What do you think about Joe S?
It's a lot. I mean, 14 innings. He's never pitched before. The most he's ever pitched is what, 1 inning, 2 innings at a time.
I mean, keep in mind you have Melech on this team that's going to help him, calm his presence a
but
bit.
he's not catching.
But still, he's there. Let's say he's playing third
It
base.
helps.
He's there.
It definitely helps. It definitely helps. If he's facing a team like, these guys, Yankee and Yak, I hate to say it, they're going to hit him really hard.
I mean, worst case scenario of Mark Cohen looming on the bench, they can move Joe West to first base, and that could solve that sort of issue.
To be perfectly honest, that might be best case scenario for them.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
Joe West cannot play the outfield. We know that. That's
So
part of
what's
the
the
rules.
rules? Where does he have to play?
So Joe West, the truth was, it's pitcher, catcher, DH. I withdraw my first base comment. He could
Wow.
DH and Mark could go on the mound, and that's really what their options are. But let's move quickly to the next players in the team. Michael Shikalo slotted as their catcher right now, played on Super Smash Bros. Last year. I actually like what I saw.
I remember him, yeah.
Always tracks down the ball at first base, running, backing up the pit and throw. Right now I have it slotted Mark Cohen playing first base. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I do love Chaz at second base. And this kid, Jack Bar Nathan, he played in the tournament. He's the real deal.
This kid I've seen.
This kid can play
He's really
the
young. He's really young. He's got a lot to prove.
He's like 16.
But he's got a glove.
I'm saying,
He's
I
got
don't think he'll hit. I think he'll play defense.
He's not going to hit, but he has a very, very good arm, and he has a good glove.
I agree.
He's quick.
Melech at third base.
Baseball IQ.
Oh, Melech at third base. I've seen Melech at third base.
That's actually fun to watch.
He can play.
Melech at third base.
He can play. He can play the position.
So you're really confident that he can play.
I've seen it. I've seen it at a prolonged period of time. He 100% can do it. And we know what Melech brings to the table if he's motivated, right? If he's motivated, nobody better.
Listen, he's a real softball guru. He can do anything.
Listen, this team did have Yoni
Play center
Sarfati.
field.
I actually seen him play right field. This team did have Yoni Sarfati on it, and whatever, there was some contractual obligations. He had to play elsewhere. I think this team gained because Melech fits more of that Joe S vibe, and I think it's going to help them in the long run.
No question.
So whether you're looking at talent-wise or not, I just think it's an overall plus because of the meshing of the boys. David Paul Sutton, consummate professional hitter.
Does he play the outfield?
Plays outfield, putting that short center. I think it's a home run. Benny Levy's an exciting rookie. We got to talk about.
Kid, no?
He's built like one of those. Got a JoJo Story type of build.
Yes, he's short.
Let's just see if it translates. Again, I don't know. They have him slated in right field, slotted with Victor Shrem. Let's see who wins out that job. So that's not a bad. And then in left field, you have Lawrence Kurtz. I'll get into that in a minute. And then we have Lawrence Kurtz playing left field, and Alazar Dani as the fourth outfielder, which is never a problem.
Yeah.
People are missing. I think he'll play almost all the games. And then center field, the captain.
Let's talk about Lawrence. Lawrence has got to really step up. He's got to be. I mean, we've seen him.
So
we've seen flashes of Lawrence Kurtz.
His trajectory is only up.
It's up.
Look what he did in the night league. Look what he did in last year's spring. He was great.
I love what I see from Kurtz, but he's got to be big for this team. He's got to be big for this team.
I think he is big for this team, and I think he's actually one of the reasons they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, and Lawrence Kurtz in the outfield has one of the best arms in the league.
And then the captain, Leo Estes, I think does have to step up his game a little bit. Last year, he had a very down year, or up and down year, I should say.
Right.
He had weeks where he just didn't look like he remembered how to play elite center field.
Right, he was dropping balls.
Right, and then I think it might have been the field in the five towns. There was something weird going on there, but I'm confident he'll bounce back.
Are you confident that this rookie captain can handle the egos
Well,
on
I
this team?
think he's kind of going to defer a lot of captainship to Melech and Joe S. And Chaz. You have a lot of leaders in this team.
I mean,
all three of them
want that role.
Melech, former captain in this league. Joe S, former captain in this league. Chaz, former captain in this league.
Chaz is the guy. Chaz can be the spokesperson.
I'm just saying, you have three captains on this team that are in the league. Let them help him. Let's quickly run through the lineup and then we'll give him a grade. Leading off, we have Chaz, love it. The guy's ageless wonder, over 50, plays like he's 25. Joe S, you're never going to complain from getting from him at the plate. And then protecting Joe S is Melech, which I love, and then protecting Melech is Kurtz. I like this lineup so far, 1 through 4. They're going to need David Paul Sutton to really add protection to that fourth spot. Because
but if Benny's that guy, he can.
Right, let's see what Benny does. Benny Levy, going to be batting number 6 is a big spot for him. And then Alazar Dani looks like he's getting every at-bat. He actually gets on base a lot, Danny. He's not a bad hitter at all.
Yeah.
Not the slap hitter type, doesn't have much pop, but he can hit the ball. Victor Shrem, then we have Leo batting 9 and Barnathan 10. The back end of this lineup's a little weak.
Yes.
But their first 5, 6, pretty solid. Let's see how it stacks up against the rest of the league. Listen, if you're looking at an overall grade for this team, I give it a pretty solid B-. I don't think they're gonna, sweep week in, week out, but I think they're good for a split almost maybe every other week. Maybe they'll pull out a sweep here, get swept here and there. I give them a solid B-. I think they're a playoff team. There's too many leaders and captains in this team to allow this team to sink and not go places. Thoughts?
I think you're being generous. I see this team as a C+. You're looking at a rookie captain dealing with a bunch of egos on this team.
But we mitigated that.
A bunch of guys out of position. You have Joe West pitching.
That's the question mark. The two question
You have
marks
a rookie
is...
shortstop, which I think will be fine.
I'm not worried about him.
Me neither.
Listen, my two big
And you know
concerns...
what, Sam? The camaraderie on this team. I know it's Joe and Mike, they're best friends, but then they don't know anybody on this team.
Listen, to me, the biggest
A bunch of
question
nice
marks-
guys, don't get me wrong, but where's the gelling here? I don't see the gelling of this team.
You mentioned one question mark, Joe asked. My real question mark is what's going to be with Mark Cohen? Mark Cohen is he pitching? Are they going to let him pitch a game? What's going to be? Is he going to be complaining on that team?
If the other option is Joe West catching, he's not pitching a game.
Let's not forget, or DH. Let's not forget. Mark Cohen and the Jokers last year had a really good year.
I love Mark Cohen. When he's not erratic, he's one of the best in the league.
All right, that's the time for this team. Let's restart. We're going to the next team, the Sephardic Food Fund, which is captained by Morty Grazzi. So now, this team started off the draft at a disadvantage.
Yes.
They came in with a lot of their friends. So now I'm going to explain to you in a minute why some of the disadvantage actually was an advantage. Like Isaac Mizrahi, we saw him play in M&S. He won the batting title. We know he's athletic. We know he can play the outfield. We know he can play short center. He's not really a dollar guy. So they kind of got one over there. But look at the other guys they came paired with. Isaac Cohen, one-dimensional.
Grazzi was $4? What did he go for?
Whatever the round
he was also
I think he was a $3 guy.
Yeah, he was also underrated.
Yeah, underrated, but Isaac Cohen's one-dimensional, first base DH hitter type.
Right.
Morty Grazzi fits the same mold as Isaac Cohen, so that's two of the same types to start on your team. And now they really started their team without any of the core positions, aside from rookie JoJo Cohen. So now, listen, I heard reports over Shabbat this past weekend in shul from his teammates and him himself that he was having a hard time throwing strikes consistently at the 45-foot mound. He never did past 44 feet, and he's struggling. Lucky for them, they have a bye in week 1. He has a few extra days to get figured out. But to me, the team will go as far as JoJo Cohen can pitch them. There's no one else in this team that can even pitch, so they're relying solely on him. They had every opportunity to draft a Jackie Schlecki or a Mark Cohen. They said, no, we're going all in on JoJo Cohen. And guess what? If he falters or stumbles out of the gate, this team's in deep trouble.
So I'm going to tell you the truth. So I was at a couple of those batting practices with him. So I'm very involved with this team. I helped him draft. I really helped out Grazzi with this. And I've been going to the field with them and watching JoJo pitch. There were times that he was throwing strikes, establishing a fastball, and there were times where what the hell, how is this guy going to pitch? And so he needs a consistency.
These aren't even in games.
He needs to put in the work. I think he has what it takes.
But the question is, Hank, what's going to happen when it's second and third one out up by a run? Is he going to melt? We don't even know how he's going to play. Listen, he has the moxie.
He's got to have in his brain a 3-0, pitch to a 9-hitter. He's got to know that I'm for sure throwing.
But this is what comes to the rookie pitcher. Trust me,
he's got to establish the fastball. It's not going to be easy. And stamina, that's a whole other
That's another thing. Let's see him in inning 14 in week 1 if he's going to even be able to walk. So
he's definitely the X factor.
100%. But let's quickly run through this team. Yeah. Mastery at catcher, consummate pro, Gold Glove in the running every single year. Love him. No one better. We just said JoJo Cohen pitching, Morty Grazzi playing first base. Now this is a big player for them. Eli Harari. They picked up that stud defensive second baseman.
What you're getting with Eli.
Guaranteed. He's gonna pick everything. If he's in a good head, He gonna bring
He can hit too.
the best Ellie version's gonna come out. If not, he's still gonna play good defense. I'm saying offensively.
He'll get the best version.
Here's a big guy in their team, Mickey Epstein. Listen, I don't know what to make of Mickey. Mickey Epstein playing third base. What are you gonna get? We had the Kakambas Mickey Epstein, who was the best player in the league,
Right.
and then you had the Met Mickey Epstein, who was the worst player in the league. Probably somewhere in between you're gonna get.
How was he last year?
He was very solid. He had a solid year last year.
Last year, like, he came down to earth.
I think last year's the Mickey Epstein that we probably should expect.
Right.
And then last year's Rookie of the Year is Shua Danny playing shortstop.
I love Shua.
He's as money of a hitter as they come.
Yes.
Clutch. And then a big player on their
He'll
team
suspect
also.
that shortstop, though.
Yeah, listen, he has his moments,
Yeah.
but listen, from what they had to choose from, I think they did well for
For
themselves.
sure. They needed him.
And then they get Natan Safdie in center field, who had a pretty good year, great postseason on Rubble on the Double. He actually carried them to win a few playoff games.
Yeah.
We mentioned Isaac Mizrahi. We mentioned, big player in their team, rookie. A lot of expectations are on his back, is Howie Hoffman.
So I think he's X factor number 2. It's JoJo. He's got to come through, and this kid's got to be a 3.
For everyone else, you kind of know what you're getting.
He has to be their big bopper.
Yeah.
And if he is not that big bopper,
He's a lefty.
if he's hitting 5 balls to the outfield,
But to
league figures
be
him out.
fair, on the weaker defensive right fielders, he will make some right fielders pay. He's a lefty, he pulls.
That's true.
So I think
there'll be teams that'll swap their left field.
Okay.
You know.
Quickly run through their lineup. We have 2 minutes to go on this team. We have Natan leading off. We have Bill, Isaac Mizrahi batting 2. So far, I like the 1-2. Shua Danny batting 3. Big fan of that. Howie Hoffman, they're right away throwing him in the fire, batting him in the cleanup spot. So let's just see what he's made out of. Mickey Epstein, solid 5-hitter. Morty Graz, he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, batting himself 6 over here. And then you have Shlomo Safdie, who I did not mention. Shlomo Safdie playing right field, former star in this league, took a hiatus, came back. I heard he's looking really good in
Let me tell you
practice.
something. I was on the field with him the other day. He was hitting bombs.
Interesting.
Bombs.
I believe it. I've seen it.
I think this is the first time he's picked up a bat in 3 years.
Probably since the LSU meltdown in MLS.
Yeah, he looked good with the glove in the outfield. He's speedy. He's in pretty good shape.
And he fits this team's mold.
And he can hit. Yeah. Listen, Morty is really laser focused, and he really wants to win. That's all he wants to do. But he's taking the more lax approach. You know,
He's taking
more
the
chill.
He's taking
more relaxed.
the Yankee Itzkowitz approach.
Exactly.
It worked last
It worked
year.
last year.
He was on the team. He's
He
taking
loved
the
it.
same aspect. I got it. Then you have Ray Sakhal's younger brother, Joey Sakhal. He actually announced the World Series on the YouTube Live. Did a great job.
Yeah.
I have no idea how he plays, so let's surprise me, I
It's
guess.
that, no?
Yeah, funny kid.
Funny kid.
Isaac Cohen batting 9, Ellie Harari 10, and they're going to slot in JoJo Cohen
I'm going
with
to give a call out to Isaac Cohen, putting in the work. He's reconstructing his swing in the cages. He's really in it. He's in it to win it.
You have a vested interest in this team because you
Very.
helped draft it. I think the bottom line, this team goes as far as JoJo Cohen can throw strikes, if you can. Until I'm proven wrong, because the only reports that I have right now, it is what it is. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm giving this team a C+. This obviously the grade can change depending on how JoJo is on the mound. But listen, they have all the positions covered pretty solidly. It's not like they don't have the positions covered.
Exactly.
But JoJo's got to be a factor on the mound.
Listen, I'm thinking that JoJo's a competitor and he's going to make it happen. Their defense, their infield's a little suspect. Their outfield is strong.
Yeah, that's good outfield.
And I think Hoffman is going to be the real deal because I'm hearing this from everybody.
That's important.
And I think they're going to be okay.
Listen, Hoffman and
I give this team a B+.
B+. You're a full grade,
Yeah.
2 grades over. I was the commissioner of M&S Minors, and Hoffman was the best player in the league. It was him.
There you go.
It was him and the Phenom, Edmund Bennett. Those
Great
are two
outfielder
good
too,
players.
right?
Yeah, he really can play. He actually is a strong outfielder. Okay, let's move on to the next team. We're going to Team Care. We're going to start the clock right now. I think Ray's by the door. We're going to start the clock right now. Moving on to the 4th team. The team name is called Care, another beautiful organization. They help out all the special children and their families for all of the services that they provide. Let's quickly run through their defensive alignment. Start at the catcher position. Maselton, he's usually on a Morty Shrem
He's a big
team.
Morty guy, yeah.
Big Morty guy, but obviously things don't change. Number 2, Ray Sakal on the mound. So, Ray Sakal had one of the most dominant regular seasons you will ever see by a rookie, and I was very underwhelmed at Ray Sakal, what he gave us in the postseason. As we start Team Care, I want to introduce one of the special guest analysts, former league stalwart and veteran Ray Esses. Round of applause for Ray Esses. Please grab a seat. We already went through the first 3 teams. You got here just in time for Team Care.
I was looking at that.
So stop me if you want to stop me on anything. We already went through Maselton. Ray Sakal, we just said he had a really strong rookie season, but when it came to the postseason time, he lost his fastball. I think his guts and guile got him through, and the team behind him actually carried him, and they won the World Series because the team around did, not because of him, which is not the case all year long. So which Ray Sakal is going to come to the field and play this year? Only time will tell. I think he'll have a good regular season again. I think stamina is what did him in the first go-round towards the end of the season.
Experience more than stamina. I think he has, it's his first time going through being in the championship and, feeling the pressure to win. That was Hank's team, though, right?
Right.
Yeah. And he's a year older now.
Right.
He's a young kid. He's a young kid. He's like an MMA.
No, a guy like Ray Sakal,
A guy that goes through the World Series, he gets experience, and he sees everything.
there's one thing about a guy like Ray Sakal, I always have a question. He just picks up a glove for the first time since the last time was the World Series. He doesn't practice. He's like one of those types. So you get nervous from those guys.
Right.
But I think he'll be well because he has the talent. I think he'll do well. First base, looks like they have a logjam at first base. We have Albert Hamway, we have Heber Hammer, and we have Little Poppy. I think Little Poppy's going to end up in the outfield like he was on Rubble on the double. Rookie Neil Schwecke, don't know much about him, but I'm hearing really good things. And in the war room when they got him and they celebrated like they had a minor victory. So what do I know? I don't know.
Right. JD's been putting in work. I'm seeing him in a lot of the hit arounds. He's trying to
He wants that
work on his
position.
game. So.
Right, he wants to be a guy to be known for a glove, and I wish him all the luck because he has a logjam. Hamway's a pretty good first baseman. We saw that last year, also on the World Series losing team.
I was impressed with Hamway with his bat.
Yeah, he's got pop. He really does.
Yeah.
Morty Sherm at shortstop. We know what you're going to get. Solid everyday shortstop. I think he has to show a little more offense this year. Take that next step if he can this year, but you're not going to get any power. But I'm saying give me more stinging line drives than we're accustomed to seeing instead of the ground balls.
Yeah, he's not a 19-year-old stringer.
No, he's not.
He's a big guy now. He's filled out.
How old is Morty? Morty's got to be in his mid-20s, right? Yeah. So I think now's the time we're expecting that. One of the great jobs that Morty did was not only did he lock up last year's Cy Young, he locked up last year's MVP in Jack Harari. So now,
Jack was great last year.
are we going to get a repeat Jack Harari batting at 800? No, that's impossible.
Right.
But let's say he bats at 550.
They need him to be big here.
Yeah, but
they need him. If there's an X factor on this team, it's him. They need him to put up an MVP caliber year.
Is he going to lead the league, lead the team in all offensive categories? Looking at their team, he probably will. He's going to be their guy.
Is anyone going to pitch to him? Like, I'm just looking at their lineup.
Who's behind him?
And they have Prust behind them in your
That's what I'm
projected
saying.
lineup.
Sam,
Are they going
there's
to
no
pitch to him?
protection here.
I'll tell you what's going to be, and I'll explain it. Pruss actually had a really strong year last year for Rubble on the double. He had a weak start, and he came on strong towards the end of the year. We had that playoff game when we moved to Burt Willis. He was one of the better players in their team that day, and it carried over to the semifinals. He got into a group. They're going to need him. Jack Mosseri's a big player in their team too. It's year 2 for Jack Mosseri. Had a really good start for Lethal Weapon last year when the rest of their team, Yakov and all those guys were hitting, and then kind of tailed off with Mark Barsano.
They need somebody to be that guy behind him. It could be
me, it's
Sasson.
Isaac Sasson's the second
because even
best
though he's the leadoff guy, it's more important on this team that they have to pitch to Jack or that they pay for not pitching.
I completely agree with you. Elliott Setton's going to be in the outfield, splitting time with Taub defensively. Sasson, like you just said, is going to be probably in center field. And then Pruss is actually, I think, a better center fielder than left fielder, if that makes any sense. We saw that. We saw that in the beginning.
Hank saw it firsthand.
Quickly, let's run through their lineup. We have Sasson leading off. We have Morty batting 2. I think he's going to have a really big year for this team to go places. Jack Harari, like you said, batting 3. Is Izzy Pruss the protection that he needs? I think they're going to end up moving Setton back up here to 4.
So whoever the best hitter is on their team has to be hitting behind them to protect them.
Right,
Otherwise,
and you should know, you said Hammer's putting in a lot of work. They stole Hammer at the end of the draft for literally pennies on the dollar, and if he gives them anything, just compared to the draft capital they spent on him, that's a huge plus for them.
He could hit, and he's going to have RBI opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe about him behind Jack Harari. And then Jack Mosseri, powerful kid. You know Jack Mosseri?
Yeah, it's
Green's brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. Yeah,
Right.
he was at the hit around yesterday.
It's all right.
He could play.
He
could play.
and he wants it also. He's not just a kid
He
coming
definitely
in through the
play.
motions.
Yeah.
Hamway's a good bat. Ray Cal, they should definitely give him an at-bat, 2 at-bats a game. Ray Cal is a power bat for
If
you
your
guys.
if your other option is Massillon and Tab, yeah, definitely.
Right, and they're going to have to give Massillon at-bats. It's a Morty Shrimp contingent thing. And then this Neil Schwecke batting in 10, I'm assuming he's speedy.
Yeah, there's a few young guys. He's
So-
a veteran. He's going to hit. Yeah, it won't affect him. He's a kid.
This lineup is not as strong as I initially looked at it the first time around. I do love their defense. I think that pitching, they're going to need a little more offense being brought to the table by one of these guys that we mentioned. I initially had these guys as an A-. I'm changing my grade to like a B+. I think they're for sure a playoff team, but let's see how far this lineup takes them. Thoughts?
I'm not going to give him a grade because I'm not really comparing them to everyone now. I just walked in, but
Right.
I would say that they're definitely a good team. You want to see pitching, you want to see defense, and you want to see some offense. I see all three of those things,
He covered all
and I
this.
think they can have good team chemistry. It's a lot of their boys together.
Morty does that well.
They're a playoff team, and I think if things break right, if Sakal plays well and Harari comes close to last year, then they can be right there.
One of the things that Morty trades in a way that like Carlos Abadi does in the night league, you take your friends, sometimes it adds more than taking the talent. The boys playing
Agreed,
together
sure.
brings a lot more. Hey, thoughts on this team quickly?
I think they're right in the middle of the pack. I think they're a B team. Like you guys said, good solid defense, great pitcher on the mound, Cy Young Award winner, and they're going to need Jack Harari to be huge.
Right.
Huge in order for them to win a few games.
And listen, coming off last year, let's just hope he repeats. He is coming off an injury that bears mentioning, where he had to leave.
Wow.
And
Yes.
How's he feeling? How's he doing?
He's fully recovered. He
Good.
got clearance. Okay, let's move on to the Community Assistance Fund, captained by Yakov and Yankee Itzkowitz, who we have the pleasure of having here in the Peanut Gallery. Which one of you would like to come and sit on your team? Yakov is...
Maybe Yak should leave the room.
Maybe Yak should leave the room we're talking about. Okay, let's just start. This team, there's one major question mark on the team. The rest of the team is just really stacked. They drafted Jackie Schwecke at the end of the draft. Jackie, we know, is fully expecting to take the ball and pitch. All accounts speaking to Itz and speaking to Yak, it looks like Jackie's going to get the opportunity, and Yakov potentially will be going to first base, which I think will definitely help him offensively, because he doesn't have to use his legs all game pitching. But is the team built enough behind Jackie for this team to go places? So now, they really did a good job drafting, and let's go through the team right now.
Yeah, show me the defense.
Yeah, the defense is a very important part, and there's a few pieces here that you can be like, So, Yakov or Jackie on the mound, let's just say we're going under the pretenses that Jackie's pitching. First base, you have Yakov. You could put him anywhere in the infield, by the way. Yakov could really scoop the ball. Very, very comfortable there, very athletic. Anywhere in the infield, but for sure first base. Second base, I've never seen this kid, but maybe you could help because I know you have, is Morty Malach.
Yes. Good athlete, very good athlete. I think he's going to be a player. The question is, again, with all these young guys,
You saw that shortstop. He's playing second base.
Correct.
We've seen a little bit of him, and what we've seen, we were very impressed.
Okay, that's good to know. And then
You're thinking he's going to play second base and not DT?
I think DT might go to short center, and it's
DT at first doesn't look right.
No, he's not. They're
Oh,
putting
yeah.
Yak at first,
Okay.
and then you're going to have Morty Malach at second with DT as an option.
I mean, without knowing the whole team, looking at it, I think you put DT at second and put Morty at short center because he has got the arm.
That's definitely
So that's-
this is the defensive line that they gave me. So I'm just
going
going with
there's three guys in
Right.
every position, so they're
You're
going
gonna
to
have
have
a
a
hard
rush
time fitting everybody.
David Dweck somewhere at short center. They're going to probably put him there for a game and probably DH another game.
Right, he's a solid guy.
Yeah,
a lot of
he's-
versatility on this team. A lot of
Yeah,
different
that's
guys.
one thing about this team that I love. There's so many options
Okay.
everywhere. Then you have DT, again, could be playing at short center. And then you have Itzkowitz, last year won Gold Glove playing short center. Why did he do that? Because they didn't need him in the outfield.
He's not catching this year.
You know what? Little birdie
Oh, that
told
pony.
me. Little birdie told me that
Yeah,
week
interesting.
1, even though we're not talking about a week to week right now, they might be missing their third baseman, Sandy Berger, and their shortstop, which might be pushing Itzkowitz to shortstop week
Okay.
1. But that's
No problem
just
with that.
no problem with that at all. My point is, even
stays healthy. We need to
even
stay
by
healthy.
missing their left side of their infield, they
Yeah,
still can put
Still
guys
in both
there.
games.
Right? They're still
How's
going to
their outfield?
So let's get there in a minute. Just quickly going to shortstop, we have another option, Ricky Schwecke / Morty Malach. I think you're going to put Ricky there. He'll handle the position. And then third base, Sandy Berger. I think former
Sandy
Gold
plays
Glove winner
well.
on 12 Angry Men.
Yankee loves Cindy Rose.
Good ball player. Now, center field, you have option of obviously Yankee. I don't think he's going to be there because you have Al D. River Dweck.
Okay.
Welcome back to the league, former star in the league. I'm a big fan of him.
Is
We
he
know
really that good?
he went to deal, didn't have a good shake of it. I think he got injured, hurt his knee. I know in their few scrimmages he actually opened up some eyes, and they're a very big fan.
Look good glove and really fast, and you gotta see if he can hit.
I'm not.
One thing that was good about him is that he knew that the right thing to do is hit it on the ground and beat out and leg it out. And he does that.
Basically, what Natan didn't
I've
learn.
been into.
So, and then right field, they're raving. We'll start left field first. We have this kid Leo Seton, rookie. They're ginning for him. They go
Steal.
nuts. Everyone's a steal the
Absolute
draft.
steal.
Right, well,
I haven't seen the kid in 3 years since he played in the minors.
He's an ox.
He's an ox.
He's 6'1".
Let's let him talk.
He's 6'1", probably like 200 pounds, but he's all muscle. And he has power.
He's in the
and
Jets
he
champ,
has
by the way.
speed.
And
Don't hold
then,
that against
He has
us.
speed and he is.
And
he
then-
impressed me.
and then their other rookie outfielder is Leo Seton, who. Oh, Albert Cohen. Sorry,
That was
Albert
Leo,
Cohen. Oh, you were talking about Leo?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Leo, and now Albert Cohen.
Smaller, but also dynamic.
Albert Cohen, listen, they like him. Just talking to the captains based on the 3 scrimmages they had, they're raving about their rookies. And then catcher, we have Coney, extraordinaire.
Excellent.
Quickly run through their lineup. We have River batting 1, DT 2, Yak 3, It's 4. They're trusting Leo Seton batting 5. They must love him.
Okay.
Morty Malach 6, question mark there until he proves it. David Dweck, solid contact hitter. Albert Cohen 8, Ricky 9, and then Sandy Coney. They have a very good lineup. I think their outfield was a lot stronger than I initially saw. Their only question mark to me is how Jackie Schwecke is going to pitch to this team. Their outfield is strong enough. Let's see how the rookies handle it. But usually, if Jackie pitches to contact in the outfield and they get there, they win games because their infield's good. Looking at this team, I like them. I think they're a solid team.
I don't think there's any question that they built a good defense behind Jackie, so I think they can let him pitch and see how that goes. But let's face it, I mean, Yankees going to be in the outfield this year because
Looks
they're
like
not going to go with Albert Dweck and 2 rookies in the outfield.
I agree.
Jackie Schwecke. I mean, I would even argue and say maybe you should go
Albert
4
Cohen.
Cross.
Right.
And then
that River.
because
Oh,
Albert
sorry.
Dweck. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that they have a good enough infield to go. Well, maybe they do. I think you have to make a strong outfield and make them beat you to death with
I
singles. Jackie's better than people say.
Here's the problem with your 4 cross option for them. They have too many mouths to feed on the infield. You're not going to let DT play.
Well, DT could play the outfield.
Maybe put him in the outfield. Maybe he's the
DT could
guy.
be the 4th outfield.
I don't know, but they have too many kids that.
Listen, they think the kids are going to be superstars. That's what
Exactly.
everybody thinks in the preseason.
You're not going to need 4.
But you got to see. No, but even if you go 3,
You're going to be okay with 3.
To me, this team is
depends who
getting.
the 3 are.
My grade for this team is a solid A-, which is definitely a playoff team, a potential World Series team. Again, it all predicates on the arm of Jackie Schwecke. By the way, it bears mentioning, is this the first father-son duo we've had in how many years? Jackie with Ricky on the
I
same
can't
team?
even think of another one. He never played with Ricky?
Never. He always wants to. It never happened. And he's all in. He's
I feel like
excited.
He has. He never did.
I feel like he always says he has, but it never actually happened.
Okay. I saw him, by the way. He's very excited.
Oh, we know.
And he already guaranteed the championship.
We saw it. Put it on
Yes,
Instagram.
He told me also.
He told me too. I just got a text about it a little.
I think that he could do the job. People have been counting him out. It's like 10 years since they counted him.
Right, and listen, he always comes. Last year on Super Smash Brothers, a team that wasn't supposed to win a game went to the playoffs, made a little noise, and the rallying cry was Jackie Schwecke's gif of him going nuts.
Yes, my favorite gif.
Yes, now
I would say one thing. I mean, again, this lineup is yours or theirs?
it's just their lineup.
Okay, so to me, I think you got to put the big guys up top, and you got to put all these young little guys. DT, they should be behind.
And let it sort itself out.
Correct, because having Yak and the Yankee up 1-2 now, that means number one, you got to pitch to the bottom guys. If you walk those guys, you have these guys moving, and number two, they get up more often. So to me, you need those. In this case,
To me, that's the key. You want your best hitters to hit as many times as possible.
Yeah.
Hank,
but I like
thoughts
the
on
team. I like it.
So these guys, they have two of the top 5 hitters in the league. So Yankee and Yak, they're both proven power hitters in this league. You have that. Yak should definitely not pitch. I think they should. They should
What
try to-
Yakov? Let's go through Yakov's season last year.
Exactly.
His
Whenever
first 4
he's
games-
not on the mound, that's when he's hitting.
Right. His
And
first
that's what
4
he should-
games, you guys were 3-1, lethal weapon. You guys started out tearing the world on fire. Yakov was hitting bombs. He had 4 doubles, I think, week 1,
Yeah.
triples, home runs, and then the entire team just imploded. I don't know what happened. I don't think Yankee will allow that to happen, and he will and get the best out of Yakov. I think the fact that Yakov is with Yankee, I think that is the greatest pairing for both of them,
Yeah.
because last year Yankee had you,
Exactly.
and now this version of you is
He
upgraded
so
to
damn
Yakov.
lucky.
He had you.
He got so damn lucky. He had me last year. I drafted his team. Now he has Yak this year, drafted even a better team.
Right, right.
I drafted this.
Just
The
sitting
question
there
difference
with
is
the
Ray Sakal became Jackie Schwecke. That's the
Exactly.
one.
It's a different team.
I think-
but it's an A+ team. I think it's an A+
Yeah, I
team.
give it-
He got 3 steals. Malach and
Listen, our
Sand,
time,
those 3
our time
guys.
expired for the team.
You've seen those guys play to say that they're steals?
in one batting
You've seen
practice session.
Malak play once.
Malach I've seen him play a couple times.
Look, again, I mean, all the rookies always look good before the season starts. You got to see how they do.
Right, how they second and third, down by 2.
100%. They got to
Ready to
prove
run
themselves.
us over.
Right, what are you doing?
They got to prove themselves.
These rookies are rookies at the end of the day.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm giving them an A-. Looks like you gave them an A, no grade for Ray.
I wouldn't. You can't give the team an A+ because pitching is so important and they don't really have that settled.
Agree.
But I think it's a great team.
You're giving them an A, okay.
I would say an A.
Let's move on to Bnei Malachim, what they call themselves, the Sons of Angels. This team is captained by,
Maybe Cohen would like this.
he would, Ralph Wama Shama, been chomping at the bit to be a captain for many years now, and finally got the opportunity. And it's There's too many question marks, although they have a few cogs on this team. And let's go through it. Danny Shabbat's a good catcher. I don't know about defensively, but the kid can mesh.
Danny's more than a catcher, though. Danny, I mean, he's a good player. I know he's not fast, and he's not going to play.
That boy can hit.
He can hit, and he knows the game. So I think having him on the team.
He's your coil
is a
straight
boy.
extraordinary.
Yeah, he's exactly.
He's an offensive
You know,
hitter.
on
Well,
in field two in Canarsie, he hit a few balls into the soccer players'
Yeah.
back of their temples.
Yeah, he's
sometimes.
got ridiculous
He can hit. And then Diamondstein last year. The way Diamondstein, first of all, Mabruk, Mazel Tov, Diamondstein got married
Mabruk,
last
congratulations.
month. Beautiful wedding. I was so happy to see you. Great stuff. But last year in El Chapo, you sucked. So let's just get that out of the way.
I heard it was beautiful.
No, it was a great wedding. But last year in El Chapo, let's be honest, if he doesn't like what's going on around him, then we saw what happened in the Three-Eyed Ravens in the Night League. If things aren't going defensively his way, he walks guys, he overthrows. If things like the 12 Angry Men year, where he actually took the team to the World Series, we see that as well. He could take a minimal talent team as long as guys are making their plays. So now let's look. The way we're going to look at this team is, can they defensively make the plays? Yes, Diamondstein actually can play his position well. Danny Shabbat's not going to hurt you behind the plate. Mark Richter, Gold Glove, first base, can't go wrong over there. Going to be in the MVP discussions. He's always there. Isaac Antar, Chunk, rookie in the league.
Did you say Chunk?
Chunk.
What does
Yes.
Chunk mean?
Isaac Chunk Antar,
Is he-
rookie in this
Is he
league.
the first guy nicknamed Chunk playing second base?
I didn't name him Chunk. His name's Chunk before
Max's brother.
Max's brother, yes, who's also on the team. So now Chunk.
Oh, Max Antar's brother.
Yes.
Okay.
Chunk, he is known as the MVP of the co-ed leagues. He's never played in competitive men's leagues, so let's see how far that takes
It's
him.
interesting.
Albert DeWepp, this is the biggest question mark. You know Albert very well.
I do.
Albert's known to be a hitter. Albert's not really known for his glove. The fact that they're throwing him at third base and they don't have a better option at third base is really having me scratching my head, because I don't think Albert's cut out for third base. I think he's a good short center fielder. I think you could put him at second base. Maybe Chunk will actually open up some eyes and then move him at
I
third.
was just gonna say, maybe Chunk belongs more.
Maybe-
Not knowing Chunk.
But I don't know, because Chunk's a second baseman by trade. So
I mean,
to
look,
me,
third base is all reaction.
I
So
get
if you
it.
have the arm and you can make the throw.
Does
you can-
Albert have the arm?
So I don't think the arm is the problem for Albert. I think if
I love
anything,
Albert.
I think if anything is
I don't
going to be
like
an issue,
him
it's
at
the
this.
glove. He hasn't played it yet, but listen, he's a good athlete. I think he could do it, and he's going to hit for them.
I mean, I know he's going to hit for them. I just am worried about third base defensively.
He
and
hasn't,
that's what,
he hasn't mastered short center field.
right, and this is what
Play
bothers
third base
me.
now?
To me, the reason why I'm really looking this as a big detractant for the team is because Diamondstein's on the mound. You can't have a third baseman not make every play for Diamondstein. But maybe, Diamondstein throws hard. Maybe he won't get a lot of balls. Maybe, who knows? Okay, either way, moving on. Whamma, Gold Glove winner at shortstop last year, deserved it. Finally leapfrogged the pack of like the Stephen Gindies of the world. Left field, Joby.
He's ahead of Stephen Gindina?
No, but he won Gold Glove last year by vote, and it was a majority vote.
I just didn't know.
No, Stephen's obviously a better player, but
Yeah, okay.
who won Gold Glove last year? Whamma, let's
This
call
is
it.
a
So he passed him.
This is a
No.
dreadful outfield. So.
Yeah, their outfield needs
Dreadful.
work. So,
Dreadful.
Joe B, I'm not worried about him in left field.
Why?
I don't like him in center field.
Why are you not worried about
Because with not the gold ball
He's-
in the
he's
in
one
the
of the best
spring.
hitters in this league.
Last year
No glove.
Last year for Super Smash Brothers, he actually played pretty good defensive left field. I'm not worried about him in left field in this league at all.
So
with
he's
Doc
not
Wilson.
he's not Sleepy Joe in this league.
He's not. He's always Sleepy Joe. He's always Sleepy Joe.
Love you, Joe.
Center field, Soli Esses, a year older. This kid last year opened up eyes. He had a few player of the weeks in him. But again, is he cut out for center field? No, he's probably best suited for left field.
Okay.
Putting him in center field is very lofty expectations to give him. And then welcome back to the league. I don't know what version
Moko.
of Young Moko.
Young Moko.
Not
Moko.
Moko. Not Moko that you know.
He's on the
Okay.
Cucumbers.
Well, there were two Mokos.
Yeah, younger Moko, my age Moko.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do. Married to Sarway. Power. Played in the league for 10 years.
Okay,
Won the
okay,
World
yes,
Series
yes,
with
yes,
the
yes,
Giants.
yes, yes, yes.
So they're trusting him in right field. I don't know what shape Moko's going to come to the field
That's
in.
Moko.
Moko, yeah, but they know Moko, the older Moko that.
No,
Not the
this is-
older one, the younger one.
Right, that's what.
I know who
Stop
it
it!
is.
Moko, younger
I know who
Moko.
this is.
Okay, good.
Cucumbers.
Yes, Kakambas.
Right.
Then Nes Hedef, short center field, streaky hitter, but brings a lot of power, fire.
He could be their backup at third if they need.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's a good infielder. I'm not sure if he can make the throw, but if he can, he could be. Listen, I think Albert could do it. He's been playing it here and there, and his problem with short center, second base, those positions, I play both. So
Yeah.
that third base, it's really just about quick reaction, which he
Does
has,
he have to throw? That's the
and
question.
they're making the throw. So if he can make the throw, I think he'll be okay. He's got to work on that.
Let's quickly look at their lineup. Solias is actually a good leadoff hitter, very good hitter in this
He
league.
won last year, right?
Very well. He had a very good year
I
last
was
year.
very impressed with him.
Diamondstein 2, Joe B 3, Richter 4, Danny Shabbat 5. The lineup is actually pretty strong.
Yeah,
Albert
it's
went
excellent.
6, Ness 7, Chunk 8, Moko/Max Antar 9, Lama 10. Their lineup is really good.
I agree.
It makes up for a little deficiencies they have defensively. I look at this team as a borderline B-, C+ type team, only because I'm still not sold on Albert Dueck at third base yet. Again, prove me wrong. And I need to see a little more from the kid in center field if he's going to be that guy. He's still 16 years old, whatever is he, 17 years old.
Solias.
Yeah, he's got to play with the men right now. Last year he was good, but not really in center field. So that's my take on this team. The Diamonds team will.
Who drafted this? Is Wham drafted?
Wham's team, yeah.
So what I see is it's really all going to come. It always comes down to the pitcher, but in this case, I think it's even more because if Menachem knows the team he has, that it's young, that it's a very strong offensive team, but defensively it might be questionable in spots, and he goes in with that mindset, and he goes strikes, and he rallies around the team, and they trust each other. All right, they're going to give up runs, but
Right.
they're going to score runs too, and they'll win games. They're going to have to avoid the big innings. They're going to have to avoid the frustration. You can't think, oh, I got to strike them all out, or we're going to lose, because that's not going to work, and that's not going to happen. So I think if he comes in with that good mindset, it's a tough team because they're going to score runs.
Listen, I'm looking at this squad right now. The lineup is pretty solid, as we said. I think if Chunk, who was the MVP of the Co-Ed League, actually brings offense to this lineup, this is one of the longer lineups in the league.
What was his
And,
batting average against the male pitchers in the league?
if you look at the splits,
Yes.
I think he only faced the woman, I think.
Oh,
But
Mark
yeah,
Richter's got to have a big year. I mean, some years he shows up and he bats 250.
he had one down year. That was
Okay.
2 seasons ago. The year before,
Listen,
and the
we
year
know he's a
before,
masher.
he's an animal. I have not. I see Mark Arishabad. He's in great shape.
It's unbelievable.
I love Mark Richter. Mark, I love you. Big fan of this team.
I'm very, yeah. What do
It
you got?
depends on third base. I said it's either a C plus or a
I'm
B
worried about
minus.
the defense. I hate their outfield, and we all know that Diamond City needs a good defense to succeed.
Agreed. Listen,
Like Ray said, if he throws strikes, it doesn't have to
It's
be.
more than just throwing
He
strikes.
doesn't need to throw 100 miles an hour.
I think they're on the
Strikes.
bubble
More
type
strikes.
team. They're on the bubble. They might be a playoff team, maybe not. Depends on the few things that we spoke about. And let's get to the last team. Last team, SPH, Sephardic Kikof Olim. This team is captained by rookie captain, the phenom,
Edmund Beta.
Edmund Beta, won the championship in the Night League last year, lost in the World Series in spring last year, coming back hungrier than ever with a vengeance. This team has a lot of good ingredients. It's a very Stephen Gindy molded type team. So again, they're going to be successful but boring at the same time, which is probably all you want really in life, to have consistency. Vic Busu behind the plate. You're not going to get.
I love
You love Vic. You played with Vic last year. He brings a lot to the table.
Brings fire and professional. Throws out runners, picks runners.
Right? No, he does. And
And he can hit
he
and
enjoys
shot.
the position. The phenom on the mound, he actually overcame the hurdle. If you look at his complete year last
Vic was
year.
on your team last year, or was
Yes.
on Stevens' team?
He was on his
He's on our
On
team.
your team. I just remember watching the World Series. So okay, so it's
Yeah.
not the same bag.
Right? And then welcome to the league, 2 rookies that are going to be platooning first base. One of them is a masher, Bernie Pindek, as we know. Very excited to have Bernie in the league this year. Another Stephen Gindy guy.
He's a great Ed.
Yeah, and then rookie Joey Levy, or Joe Levy, who they were doing some fist pumps when they drafted him. Edmund Beta.
We saw him yesterday.
You know who's my cousin?
How does he look?
My cousin Morris Levy. It's his kid.
Is he any good?
He's big.
Big boy.
He's a big boy.
Big boy
He's
was
6'2",
hitting some
lefty.
nice shots.
Yeah, he has a nice stroke.
Okay, let's see.
I'll be consistent. I would guess Bernie will. I don't know. I didn't really see him play first. But you'll see who ends up playing first over there. But one of them will. Okay.
I'm not worried about their position.
Joe's going to be, first DH.
Okay, no, I'm happy to have him. He sounds like a good ad.
Yeah, nice.
Playing second base, another rookie. I actually coached him in YDE, Ike Salem. Actually, a pretty good glove at second base. Sitting right beside him is veteran Barry Anteby, who, by the way, had a renaissance year last year for Rubble on the Double. Opened up a lot of eyes. People thought he was in the back nine, and last year he just came back with a vengeance. And I did not personally see that coming. And I don't know, he just looks like a different ball player.
Also doing work.
He looks very good.
Hitting the ball
Yeah, he
well.
looked good. He looks good.
Look good.
So I think he'll end up having the spot at second base, starting second base. Stephen Gindy looking to regain that Gold Glove status at shortstop.
Yes.
Stephen, I love you, the best player in the league. Don't worry about it.
Second base.
Second base.
Second base.
Behind playing third base, Albert Richter. Like what he brings to the table, moxie-wise, I think it's important that he's playing with a few of his guys, with a few of the guys with the edge like Steven. I know, I think he played on Night King on Steven's team a few summers ago, and also he fits that, the phenom vibe with the young
I
guys.
had him on my team, Cobra Kai.
Right.
And he's great. Great
He's
teammate.
such a good glove.
Very into it. Very good glove.
So
He's very high on his
I think
glove.
when he went to shortstop, he put a little added pressure on himself. Not that he can't do it, but at third base, I think that's where he belongs.
He's definitely locked in on third.
Yeah, I like him at third a lot. A.B. Anteby last year, a lot of power as a rookie on the Jokers. He put a few balls over the left fielder's head in key spots. I wouldn't rely on A.B., but the fact that A.B. is like your contingency plan bat, playing short center is a good thing. I have no idea who this guy Friedman is playing right field, but they slated him as a right fielder. Charlie Friedman. And
Charlie,
Jay
I don't know. I have no idea, but they like him. It was one of the guys that Edmund made sure he drafted. And then in center field, you have Allen, the best center fielder in the league. Alan Jamel. Bar none, to me, best center fielder defensively in the league without question. His bat's only improving. We saw what he did offensively in the World Series for you guys as well. He was the World Series MVP, actually. Yeah, he deserved it. Left field, we have my nephew Levy Head. Mabruk had a baby boy. Brittany Lau was last month.
Mabruk, Aaron.
And Joey Levy, who was the other, I think the same Joey Levy they had at first base.
Right.
So it
First
looks
base,
like
left field.
it looks like Aaron Levy's position is going to be starting left field.
You think Aaron's going to keep hitting like he did last.
I sure hope so for his sake because he had an unbelievable
Yeah.
offensive year.
Yeah, that was.
This is a classic Stephen Gindley team.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of defense. The one thing they got to figure out is either Bernie or Joe Levy got to lock down first base because it's going to be important on this team to make sure you have a first baseman that can make the plays. Steven's obviously going to make the throws, but you want to make sure that you don't have any issues over there.
I love this team.
But I like this team a lot because they have the defense and I think they can score runs. I don't think this is going to
Yeah,
be
look at the lineup. So they're leading off phenom, which I love. Al Jamal batting 2. He probably will end up in the 1. He'll have to start to see maybe week 2. Stephen Gindy batting 3rd. Pindek batting 4th. So they're giving him his trust right away. Richter 5. Antony 6. So they actually saw what he did last year. BA batting 7. Aaron Levy, if he brings what he brought last year, then this lineup is really long. Vic Brusu 9. Looks like they're giving Friedman the 10th spot, even though I think he's a big
So
boy.
this Friedman guy here, so you said he made sure he drafted him.
Yes.
And this was an auction, so he paid real money for him?
Well, not top dollar, but he made sure to bid on him and get
So he
him.
got him, yeah. So this, I think this lineup is probably a little bit of smoke screen. He's probably better than
I think you're right, because between Steven on the phone with Edmund the entire draft,
Yeah, Steven doesn't just take guys, and they're putting them 10 in this lineup. The lineup they gave you, I'm just being a detective a little. I think Scal will probably be a player, and I like this team. I think lineup is very strong. They have speed.
their defense is there,
Defense is
their
there.
pitching is there.
Pitching is there. I love
To me,
Allen and
A lot of speed. Ton of speed.
So looking at this team, I'm
Look
giving
at the
this
speed
team,
they have here.
I think this is my first A+ graded team.
Wow.
You want to go to Steve?
Oh, this is a present from Yankee Itzkowitz. It's an empty ring box. That is low. That's cold.
he can't even respond.
It's like Michael Scott giving a run.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
To Dwight for his employee. Right. Anyway, so that rounds out the 7 teams. Let's quickly, if we can, just give me the 2 teams you do not think will be making the playoffs. We'll start with Aaron, because he was here from the beginning.
Yes.
So the first team that I really didn't like was Dan's team. I think he's way too concentrated on getting his J-dubs on the squad.
Did you let him use that term?
Yes.
It keeps hurting him
We
because
broke the barrier. We could use all the words.
Okay.
that team is last year's team without Jack Carreri
Right.
and without Joe S.
And with that, Yoni Sarfati.
It's
Missing the...
I don't like it at all.
Okay, and that's team
And I
number
think
1.
that's team number
What's
1.
your
They're
second
gonna be in
team?
last place. I don't see them. What's it called?
What's your second team that's not making the playoffs?
My second team is Bnei Melachim. That is Wham's team.
Okay.
I did not like their outfield. Their defense was very, very weak. They have a solid lineup, but I don't see them making the playoffs. I don't see Diamondstein, coming through with just a weak defense.
It's funny because Diamondstein started his career out so strong, and then the last couple of years he's been stuck on teams that people just, either not giving them the props that they're due, but I think that team actually does get the wild card. I think that team does get the wild card. I'll start next unless you want to,
Go ahead.
still studying if you
Yeah,
want.
I got it. I looked at this before, but you
Okay,
go ahead.
so I'm actually in lockstep with Hank. I don't think Maskil Eldal Society, the Dan Braun squad, is a playoff caliber team unless proven otherwise. I think they're going to have to make a move or 2. If that,
a J-Dub charity.
it's funny, that's what Dan gave me death threats about that because,
You want them to be.
well, no, these are organizations that I felt comfortable that I'd Innswith representing from each
Yeah, we want to know.
within our community. But every organization we're going to go through at a different time, beautiful organizations in their own
100%.
right. And look out for next month's Community Magazine. There's a full spread of every single organization and what they do and what we're trying to accomplish this season. Anyways, the first team that's not making the playoffs, in my opinion, is Maskil Eldal Society. And the second team that I just don't see making the playoffs, and that's simply because JoJo Cohen is not reliable on the mound. That is the Morty Grazzi squad. Yes, they have Shuadani. Yes, they have Natan Safdie. Yes, they have players all around. Yes, I'm a fan of a lot of the players. They have good players. Eli Harari, Mickey Epstein, my brother-in-law Bill, Shlomo Safdie. But if they don't have a pitcher that's comfortable and confident throwing strikes, they're going nowhere.
Jojo,
So
there's your chip on your shoulder.
those are my 2 teams that I do not think are making the playoffs. You.
So, First of all, you're great at doing these shows, but I have noticed over the years that you're really bad at this part.
No, I'm the worst.
And what's scary.
No. This is my favorite part because I'm always right.
Correct.
But I do take full responsibility for the teams that suck, or that are great. That I say they're going to suck because they actually they take it so hard. It's
Right,
great.
yes. So, but the
They
scary
get 50 was going to make the playoffs.
Yes, you
Right?
said that. The scary part is that I agree with you.
Hey!
Which I'm scared. I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about too much stock in this because I don't know
A lot
how
of
JoJo
things.
Cohen is as a pitcher.
Oh.
I looked at that team.
I
and
saw JoJo on Shabbat, and he told me I couldn't throw strikes.
Okay.
That's all I need to hear.
Okay. So that obviously he's gonna have to work on that. And I mean, if they don't have a pitcher, I was looking at this team, and to me it didn't look better than the other teams.
But they don't have a backup pitcher.
Right.
I implored them. I said before, take a flyer on Jackie. Take a flyer on Mark. You might need them. You're not married to JoJo
And once,
pitcher.
and once the Yak Its team starts winning games, even
Yeah, they're
if it's
not trading nobody.
Even if it's Jackie's not pitching well, they're not going to
No,
trade.
they're
They're not
not
going to
gonna
help.
help, right.
They're not going to help another team. So I agree with you there, and I think Dan is very good in this league, but I don't love the mix either. I don't really know all these guys, so it's hard for me. But I think
Well, listen,
I think they're going to struggle because I don't see I don't really see too
You
much.
know
speed.
Madnick.
I do.
You know Elliot Mann.
I do.
Ayal's going to be a good player. Take it from me. Schneer.
Which Ayal?
Young kid, Isaac, rookie. He's a good
Is one
player.
of the Jacob.
His younger
yes,
brother.
Okay.
Good player.
So it'll be a good player. Like all of them.
David Feldman, Kafka, Madnick, you know, is going to do well. They need those guys. The bench
I'm
is
I'm looking at the lineup, and I don't see a strong lineup. I like it. I like that they have Jack also, because Jack's going to help that team a lot. I think. I know he thinks he stinks, but I think he's going to help that team a lot. But I think their challenge is just going to be I don't really see a lot of speed.
But you just said a big thing. Jack's batting fourth. They need him to bat.
Bionic.
They need his
Wearing
offense.
bionic legs.
So then, and the big thing is, can Michael Mann handle a full season at shortstop? I've never seen it yet. Maybe he can. Maybe we're all going to be stupid, and after the year, they're going to be great.
I don't really know him well, but I've heard he's a solid infielder.
Good
I
glove.
don't know.
No bad. From what I
Right, so
saw.
I don't know that he can play shortstop. Dan has success when the defense behind him is good. He knows all these guys. He's going to be confident in all these guys, which is important.
Right.
I mean, it's really hard to say. I think we all kind of agree on the bottom three because it was between those two teams that I was thinking about, but that's where I would go.
So there you have it. It looks like we're all in lockstep of who's not going to be making the playoffs, which is a rarity. Usually there's some different opinions. We're not going to predict who's going to be a World Series team because to me that's silly. Anything could happen. The team we could predict to be the World Series could not even be a wild card team or vice versa. So I think that pretty much sums up and rounds out.
Can we all just predict that Yak's going to win the World Series?
Oh, so Yakov from the Peanut Gallery is calling that he's winning MVP.
And Cy Young.
Cy Young, he's not
Comeback
pitching.
player of the
And he's
year.
not pitching. Comeback player of the year.
And he's going to steal
Can we add?
trophy.
He took the Rookie of the Year trophy already from the kid.
Gold glove, gold glove.
Gold glove,
And the sportsmanship award.
sportsmanship,
You heard it here.
umpire of the year. Either way.
Drafting.
Season starts a week from this past Sunday. So this coming up Sunday, the 27th.
Why don't you say this Sunday?
Weather, made a mistake. Weather permitting. Looking forward to seeing you all bright and early. I hope you're all stretched and ready to rock.
Weather looks good.
It's going to be a great season. Looking forward to seeing you all. Let's rock and roll. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.